This is where climate change goes from concept to catastrophe. On the outskirts of Burundi's financial capital, one of the poorest countries on Earth is now losing its landscape to Lake Tanganyika. Africa's biggest lake is swallowing this nation's biggest city of 1.2 million people. Around 100,000 people were displaced just last year. Pastor John was one of them. Are we going in that? C'est les gens qui restent ici encore?
Non, déjà quitté. Il y a quelques personnes qui restent ici.
Oui.
Il y en a qui restent là.
C'est vivant?
Non, c'est...
So we're going through the garden entrance to the pastor's house. C'est combien dans votre famille quand vous êtes ici?
Ici, moi j'habite avec ces familles, ma soeur, avec ma mère, et avec mes enfants, j'ai 4 enfants.
Est-ce que le lac est arrivé tout de suite?
Non, il y avait venait doucement. Donc il y a de presque 7 ans. Première année, deuxième, troisième, j'ai resté ici. Moi j'ai passé en l'eau, quand j'ai allé jusqu'à ici. Moi j'ai resté ici de quelques ans, de près de 3 ans. Et après,
Avec l'eau?
Oui. Alors le jour que j'ai dormi dans mon lit, j'ai trouvé que c'est plus ici.
4,000 homes, 220 classrooms, countless businesses, and people's futures have been drowned. Lake Tanganyika's level has risen 4 meters in just 20 years, and it could rise another 2 over the next decade.
For the African continent, it's really a big issue, and it's really manifesting in every part of the continent. And we can see that, particularly in every region, we are seeing increased intensities and frequencies of extreme events. So we are seeing prolonged droughts in parts of Horn of Africa, which are punctuated by extreme rainfall events, so flooding. So you're having a prolonged season of very dry soils, crops not doing very well. And then all of a sudden you have these heavy downpours that causes flash flooding, and it sweeps away crops, it submerges farmlands, it destroys infrastructure. And it's really the reality of the African continent.
Climate change has suffocated the lake. Warm water holds little oxygen. That and overfishing means that fish harvests have fallen by 1/5, where 12.5 million people live. And USAID has meanwhile slashed $50 million in food and health support. An hour north of Bujumbura, the former lakeside community is now living on the edge of a hill, miles from work and even further from hope. But the camp is buzzing. National elections are looming. The government is buying favour by giving away mobile phone SIMs. Pastor John is here too. It's a bit of a come down from a house that slept about 15 people.
Welcome. C'est tout. Tu vois ma maison que j'ai perdue.
Oui, exact.
Presque tout.
Ça c'est pour la maman? Ça c'est à vous ça?
Oui.
Maman?
Moi aussi je me mettais de menottes ici.
Qu'est-ce que vous allez faire ici comme pour travail, pour gagner d'argent? Qu'est-ce que vous allez faire ici?
Ici, pas de travail, pas de chambre.
What? What's the problem? Huh? The interview is cut short. Government loyalists intervene. Criticism of the ruling party is unwelcome. Burundi had a civil war from 1993 to 2005. Bouts of violence between Hutu and Tutsi ethnic groups have broken out ever since. Politics here can be terminal. Here, there's a lot of effort in keeping spirits up, but it's often pretty hopeless.
There are 8,000 people here, about 1,300 households entirely dependent on international aid and handouts from the central government. No chance of employment. They're on a hillside, they're used to living by a lake, and right opposite them is the DRC. There's war in that country, refugees coming in, adding further poverty, more strain on resources here, and more tension.
100,000 people have been displaced by flooding, and now 70,000 have fled here from the Congo's war. And Donald Trump has cut international US humanitarian aid to almost nothing. That's forcing charities working in Burundi to make impossible choices.
We've been responding to the refugee influx, but also we've been responding to the climatic change effects as a result of flooding and people being displaced. But now we have to focus on refugees, on the influx, leaving the internally displaced population of Burundi. And that is really not fair.
Is there a sense, therefore, that climate change is kind of adding fuel to pre-existing issues, political strife, poverty, health?
It's definitely a multiplier or like a catalyzer of the issues that our society is already experiencing. Because even for governments to respond to these issues and having the additionality of disasters battering continuously means that government has to really think about appropriating money or allocating funds that can support these multiplying threats or these compounding impacts to the people.
This is the Musenyi camp for refugees from the Congo. It was built to house 10,000 and now is holding double that. The political strain is intense. Food is running out. The World Food Programme has halved refugee rations here since March, and they may be cut further.
In the outside world, why should anybody care? Humanity requires that we care for each other. Observing what is already happening in this country, in Burundi, it requires that everybody cares for another.
This is a snapshot from one country. But across Africa, climate change combined with poverty, Trump's aid cuts, and existing tensions are an incendiary mix. It will rob children of hope and turn their future deadly.